Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's your host Steady Yeti, and man, do we have an awesome topic today. So this is something I'm going to do after every regional. We're going to talk about the decks. Unfortunately, right now they do only have the top 8 uploaded. Hopefully they upload the rest. If so, I'll make another video if we see anything crazy. But I checked out the top 8. I did not end up watching the Prague regional, so I looked at the top 8 on Limitless when I got back home, and holy cow, I was so excited to talk about it. I couldn't wait. So let's just hop right into it. Alright, I will say I did watch the finals match because I heard that it was Crystal versus Dragapult, and I didn't know who won yet, so I was excited to see what we had going on there. Dragapult with Mateus as the host definitely took it to the house. That was a very easy 2 games for him. And like Mateus does, he brought an absolute list. I love this deck. It is so crazy. It's definitely what Mateus would do. Whenever he got top 4 in Worlds a few years back, he had a crazy deck, or maybe it was the regionals he did really good in. Either way, there was a tournament that Mateus was known for playing this really wild deck list, and that's kind of what Mateus's thing is. And this is it right here. So it's just straight Palt, and it's got the Dunsparce line. This is, to me, straight Palt is better than Poltnor and Blaziken, my personal opinion. I think if you're a really good Poltnor player, you should play Poltnor, or if you're a really good Polt Chicken player, you should play that. But if you just want to play straight Palt and you don't want to worry about all the other extra cheese and all the other extra fun stuff on the side that Pult does, this deck right here is super straightforward, super simple. You set up your Pults, you set up your Dracloaks for your engine, you attack with Pult, and you pass turn. And you do it again the next turn, and the next turn. And like, that's just all there is. So the fact that he played the Dunsparce is super cool. So its first attack is this attack does 60 for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX. That is a powerhouse attack. If they have 4, you're doing 240 damage. That is very, very aggressive against any sort of grass box deck with all the Teal Mask and the Arbalivas. Like, yeah, this is going crazy. For another one, it would do 300, and then you could possibly move some monkey damage to get that Arboliva out of there with the 310 HP. And then I'm gonna assume what Mateus really had this in here for was the destructive drill. This attack damage, it's a shred attack for 150 against Crustle matchups, since Crustle is gaining popularity. And as we can see here, Crustle got second. Now, this Crustle list is fairly close to what I would call a Crustle deck I would play. I want to lean heavier on the 4/4 Crustle Dwebble line and nothing else, basically. I do like the Kangaskhan for draw, and the Cornerstone's good in a lot of matchups, but it's not good against Palt. And not being good against Palt is a problem, and that's, well, why he lost this game, I would assume, or this match, per se, I would assume, from basically getting bodied round 1, starting with Cornerstone and having a really, or game 1, starting with Cornerstone and having a really bad setup. And then game 2, Mateus just grinded through it and was able to get the dub. But yeah, this Crustle list is close, but there is another Crustle list in top 8 that I like a little bit more. This is a lot more straightforward. I would, for the Alakazam matchup, I would go ahead and fit a Rocky Fighting Energy in here somewhere. It doesn't necessarily need it, but it's cool to have 5. They're probably only going to be on 2, maybe 3 Enhanced Hammer, but playing only the 4 Mist Energy is more than enough if you get them all. If you don't get them all, then, you know, you're kind of like, you're going to lose. Let's just be fair. So playing 5, it'd make it a lot more consistent, in my opinion, and a lot more complicated to do so. And you could still work with the counter gain a mist energy and a growing energy, or a fighting energy and a growing energy to be able to attack with the Crustle. So like that, you're not losing out on much by playing one extra mist energy style card to stop the Alakazam, and also it's really good against Dragapult 2 to stop the 60 damage spread. So I definitely feel like this exact 60 plus maybe one Rocky Fighting Energy is where the Crustle should be. I do like the Kangaskhan's. I think that is a good card for draw power, and if you just have to load it up and attack with it, you can. Going to deck number 3 here, we have a Garchomp list. I have a good buddy at my LGS that really likes Garchomp. This is really close. Actually, I think this is the list he decided on. It's just straightforward. You just put Garchomp in play and you hit him really hard. And I really like that. I really like decks of this style. It's a lot of 4-ofs, 4 Poffin, 4 Pad, 4 Lilies, 4 Boss. And it has one goal in mind, and that's just what it's going to achieve. Moving on to the 4th place deck, I will be going back and watching this top 4 because I absolutely love this shell. The Starmie Dusknoir shell, Azul GG played it on his channel, and this deck list is really close to his, but it does have some differences. This is definitely going to be a deck that's going to be on the channel, so look forward to that. But this is just such a cool archetype for me. I've always been a fan of damage spread, but not in the way of like Frostlass Monkey Dory. More of stuff like Palt and Starmie, where you're shooting it and then shooting something on the bench. And Dusknoir's always been a powerhouse card for me. It's always been a card I like a lot. Being a Charizard Pidgeot player, I always had a Dusknoir line in that deck. I really feel like that deck needed that. This deck also has like a lot of pet cards I really like to play with the Latias Retreat Engine and the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Pheasantipity for draw, obviously. Pheasantipity is one of my favorite Pokemon. But this deck just really hits home with me on a lot of bases. I really like Hilda as a card. I really like Legacy Energy as a card. So we're definitely going to be playing some of this on the channel for sure, and probably this exact 60. The other 60 it's clean, but I think this one would be a little smoother. So look forward to that in the future. Going on from there, 5th place, we got Brother Tord here. He was also playing Dragapult. This is a straight Pult list. It's a little boxy. I actually really enjoy that, playing the Chinpow. I could definitely see where this could be a good include. If you're playing against decks like Marnie's Grimmsnarl, you can knock out their Spike Myth, or you can knock out Area 0 if your opponent exceeds too far on the bench, and then they have a bunch of bad discards that they have to make choices on. Where your deck, it's still just a straight Pult deck with a few backup Pokemon. So in this deck, you're still going to be doing the same thing. You're just going to be setting up Pults and attacking every single turn until eventually you get all 6 prize cards. I will admit I am not a fan at all of double Meowth. I play single Meowth in every single deck that I play, and I still start that card way too many times. It's almost like Pokemon TCG Live is just rigged, and if it's in your deck, you're going to draw it as your only basic. I don't know. It's honestly frustrating the amount of times I've started this Meowth. But yeah, straight Pult list. Tord built a really good deck. I really like this idea of Dragapult again. I'll go back to that. The Bear for the backup attacker, the Monkey Dory for the damage spread, the Badoo for the lag. You know, this is just what Pult needs. I don't think it needs all the extra stuff to be good. And here's Tord getting 5th place in this regional, proving that. And the 1st place list, of course, it had the Dunsparce package, which would probably be pretty relative here. Deck number 6 is Raging Bolt, and I am super excited about that too. So you know I am a little bit of a Raging Bolt fan. I've been playing the little janky meme Twitter list, and then Azul made one, and then I changed mine up a little bit. You know, I made some videos on that. I do think that is more of a meme deck the more I practiced with it than it is an actual deck. But this is an actual deck. Now, I'll go ahead and say it. It plays 3 Meowth. Oh my god. I will never play this list on TCG Live because I will just only ever draw Meowth. But I do respect the heavy Meowth in this deck due to the fact that you have a lot of supporters. You have a lot of tech supporters with Zerosix and Cypher Maniac, and you have 4 Crispin. You want to Crispin almost every turn if you have to get your Raging Bolt fired up. You Serrano, Boss, you know, any of these things. And this is a really tight shell. The playing only a 2-of Boss and a 1-of Lilies, it just shows how tight this shell really is. I'm glad to see that he did really good in this tournament with a list like this, and I think something like this is kind of where Raging Bolt's going to be. It's a little boxy with the Wellspring Ogerpon and the Passimian and the Chinpow, but at that same token, it definitely has like an advantage to it. I've seen a lot of players play Kangaskhan and then bench it. Like, let's say a Kangaskhan got knocked out, they would bench the Chinpow to blow up their stadium and then discard the other Kangaskhan so they can't have just a 2 knockout win for the opponent. The Passimian is a very good card. I really like this card in the deck lists that's Raging Bolt and doing the Raging Bolt box thing. Like I said, I think the all 4-ups list it's not going to see play in any type of standard meta event. I think something like this will be a lot closer. Glass Trumpet, if y'all don't like this card is getting slept on. This card is so good. I found out this card was good in a Venusaur deck I've been working on with the Hoodoots, and with Venusaur, you know, you can move energy around, so that makes this card even better. But yeah, Glass Trumpet is super good. It's super good in this list, and that is one reason I respect the 3 Meowth, is so you can have enough normal Pokemon for the Glass Trumpet. But yeah, this straightforward Dragapult list, or excuse me, Raging Bolt list, can't hate it. And then we have another Crustle here. I did already talk about this. Like I said, the only thing I would change here is the Rocky Fighting, and we'd be good on that. The 1-of Rocky Fighting. And then we did end up having Pult Blaziken in the top 8. I was honestly surprised that there was only 1 of them. I figured Pult Blaziken, and there might be as we see the top 32 and top 64, but I figured there would be a lot more Pult Chicken. It's the deck list that's most popular right now. You have a lot of people trying to focus on Poltnor, just try to say it's still good, all the true Poltnor players. Not saying it's not, but this list is also gaining a lot of popularity recently, so I'm surprised it's not being seen more. Especially with this attack right now, being a fire attacker with the heavy grass meta, that definitely seems very important. But yeah, so that's just kind of what we have. We have good old Pult Chicken here in the end of the top 8. Hopefully they do release the rest of the deck list so I can make a longer video of if we see anything crazy. But yeah, super excited to see the top 8 of this tournament. We have Dragapult lists, as we would know. We have a Raging Bolt list. I think this deserves to be an A tier deck for sure. Something pretty close to this list. A couple Kangs for draw, Meowth for supporters, Tealmash for ramp, Raging Bolt for big damage. Like, this is what this deck wants to do. It's really close to the deck list in Fukuoka, the Japan tournament. That was like the technical first official post-rotation tournament. It is a little different. It's playing a little bit more Meowth, but that deck was super cool too. I do like this list a little more. I think it's a little bit tighter. It's got a lot of 4-ofs and a lot of like 1 and 2-ofs, like I was talking about. This real techie. This list deserves to be A tier, or this deck. I think Raging Bolt will be A tier by the end of it. But yeah, that's the top 8. Like I said, I'm glad to see everything. The Starmie Dusknoir, seeing it do good makes me so excited. I'm really hoping this deck shines in the meta, so we can play a lot more of it, a lot more on the channel, a lot more in events, because this deck, it just seems good. It's very aggressive. It gets easy turn 2 knockouts if it's where you can set up, and it just deserves to shine. So I'm hoping that's what it does. And yeah, so that's it. That's the top 8 of the Prague regionals. There was only 1,300 players, kind of a small regionals. I know in the Americas we normally hit like double digits or double that, like around the 2,500, 2,600 range easy. But yeah, that's what I got on this video. I hope y'all liked it. If you did and you want to see me talk more about deck lists, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. I'll see y'all later.